The undisputed champion Artur Beterbiev will face off with the mandatory challenger Michael Eifert, and it seems like all the talk about a Dmitry Bivol rematch is going out of the window. Meanwhile, Bivol's promoter Eddie Hearn plans to secure a rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev, as stated by His Excellency Turki Alal Sheikh. Hearn believes that the rematch will either be through orders or if Bivol becomes the mandatory challenger. Confident that Bivol deserved to win, Hearn will pursue legal avenues to ensure the rematch happens.
If he wants to put that rematch on, we'll get one anyway. I mean, when you think about it, there is no other fights for either man at 175. Like, it's a natural fight to make. If Beterbiev moves up, that's another story. But for me, I think we'll see the rematch. And I think it was such a great fight that we should want to push for that rematch. Sometimes you make a play or an appeal to the governing bodies to say, look, we believe we should have won the fight. We think you should order the rematch. Now, there's two ways to do it. You can order a rematch, or you can order Dmitry Bivol as the mandatory. One of those things will happen, in my opinion. So we'll have to, speak to the legal team.
Eddie Hearn was all in for the idea of a rematch since he believed the decision was highly controversial. Hearn shared, "There has to be a rematch because Artur Beterbiev, there is always going to be the controversy of that fight, and he is a true champion. What other fight is there for Artur Beterbiev? The whole world wants to see that again." On the other hand, top-rank promoter Bob Arum said that it's a burden to be undisputed in this day and age since the fighters can't decide who they want to fight. Arum commented, "It's totally insane. It's like a burden to be undisputed. I mean, the idea that you have to fight some non-entity to keep your title after you've won the biggest fight of your career seems crazy to me. This is ludicrous. They say, these are our rules. Well, change the rules." Even Beterbiev himself likes the idea of a rematch, since he believes that he hurt Bivol, but it wasn't enough to secure a strong win. Beterbiev wasn't satisfied with his performance, and neither was Bivol.
Both of you guys said that you felt like you could have fought better. Neither one of you were satisfied with your performance. Do you believe that this fight deserves a rematch? Would you like to do it again?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
I asked. Go ahead.
We'll see.
We'll see, yes. I asked him if he was hurt during the fight. He said no, but he felt like he hurt you with multiple shots. Were you hurt at any point, or do you feel like you hurt him?
No. But I didn't understand.
Did you feel like you hurt him at some point in the fight, and were you
I
ever
hurt
hurt?
him, but not enough.
Beterbiev is now in a difficult position. He could face Eifert to retain his four-belt status, or he could vacate the IBF title to pursue the more lucrative rematch with Bivol. The stakes are high as fans eagerly await his decision, and Bivol's team continues to push for the rematch that would settle the debate over their first meeting. On the other hand, Dmitry Bivol's team previously launched a protest on the controversial decision of Bivol's match with Beterbiev and pushed for an immediate rematch. Moreover, Eifert is a 26-year-old German fighter who earned his mandatory position with a win over former WBA and WBC champion Jean Pascal in 2023. However, Pascal, now 40, was not at the top of his game, making Eifert's victory less impressive to many. Despite this, the IBF has granted him the opportunity to challenge Beterbiev, much to the disappointment of those hoping for a Beterbiev-Bivol rematch. Additionally, Roy Jones Jr. was the last undisputed light heavyweight champion in boxing, so he said that no one won the fight between Bivol and Beterbiev, and he called for another rematch between the two boxers.
What up? Being that I was the last unified undisputed champion, probably about 25 to 40 years ago, I don't know how long it was. Last night we had a very fantastic fight. A fight that I thought could have gone either way, but what happens, happens. However it goes, nobody won nor lost the fight by 4 points. So that's ridiculous, which is why I say we need an immediate rematch.
Roy Jones further commented on the fight. "Both guys did a lot to change. Beterbiev has shown me more than he has ever shown me before. He actually can box, and I was surprised. Bivol was a very good defender, which we knew. He was a good counterpuncher, which we knew. He jumped out an early lead. But it all came down to that Beterbiev did finish the fight strong, and he came out stronger. So that's why I feel that the fight should be a draw." Furthermore, Artur Beterbiev shared that Eddie Hearn and his team can say anything they want, but they didn't get robbed in the fight.
I just spoke to Bivol and his team. They feel like they got robbed tonight. I know that you just said that this wasn't your best performance. How do you respond to them saying that basically they deserved the win?
They can say anything.
Meanwhile, Turki Al-Sheikh had Bivol winning, but the judges scored it for IBF WBC and WBO champion Beterbiev based on him being the aggressor in the entire second half, hurting Bivol several times and putting him on the run. The top-rank boss Bob Arum doesn't want undisputed light heavyweight champion Beterbiev to bother with Eifert, who is a complete unknown with US fans and would attract zero interest. Given Beterbiev's age, long career, and recent injuries, it would be pointless for him to use one of his valuable last handful of fights in his career defending against an obscure fighter like 26-year-old Eifert. Arum would jump at the chance of setting up a fight between Beterbiev and Canelo Alvarez if the Mexican star shows interest in moving up to 175 to challenge him for his 4 belts. Keith Idek on X stated that Arum would want Canelo to fight Beterbiev. Bob Arum told me he intends to encourage Beterbiev to skip the IBF mandatory versus Michael Eifert to fight Bivol again, Benavidez, or even Canelo. Boxing analyst Jake Donovan offered insights into these developments. Reasons for Bivol's actions now come to light. IBF has now ordered Artur Beterbiev Michael Eifert mandatory title defense. Eifert beat former lineal champ Jean Pascal in an eliminator last March, has since fought once in a scheduled 6-rounder versus a no-hoper. Artur Beterbiev's coach John Scully shared that Beterbiev versus Bivol fight was the bout of the ages, and Artur won a few really good rounds, but John also praised Bivol for his incredible performance.
You know, I mean, when you're in the corner, you want to win clearly, but it was, it's a high-level fight. It's a puzzle to solve, you know what I mean? And Dimitri fought a very good fight. You can't take anything away from him at all. I thought Artur got inside quite a bit, and a couple of the rounds were big rounds, like big rounds. He didn't do anything, and Artur was all over him. And I think that swayed it towards us a lot.
As long as Beterbiev is willing to vacate his IBF title, if need be to skip the Eifert fight, we could see him fighting Bivol, Canelo, or Benavidez next. If Canelo chooses not to move up to 175 to challenge Beterbiev, the winner of the David Benavidez versus David Morrell clash on January 25th will be a good option. On the other hand, Jose Benavidez Sr. has called out Artur Beterbiev to fight with his son David Benavidez after their reported clash in January. Jose Sr. added, "Hopefully, we can get an opportunity to fight Beterbiev. He just won on Saturday, so hopefully we can get that, but right now we're focused on David Morrell. We gotta look impressive in order to go to the next level." On the other hand, Artur Beterbiev said that he welcomes David Benavidez in the 175-pound division and is open for a challenge.
When David Benavidez scored a big victory over Demetrius Andrade, he said, "If I can't fight Canelo, maybe I'll go to 175 and fight Beterbiev." How did you respond when you heard that?
When I'm focused for Callum Smith. Now, if he want to go up for our category, he can do it.
In addition, David Benavidez himself thinks that Artur Beterbiev is the best man at 175 and claimed that he needed to get some fights in order to face Artur.
Would you view a guy like Artur Beterbiev as probably your toughest fight? Because I was talking to you that the other day. He was like, he's really confident. You're fighting everybody. He was like, but he can't lie. Beterbiev is a really tough fight.
He's a tough fighter.
He
He's a
punches
top
really
dog.
hard.
He's a top dog, and just the way he took Joe Smith apart was amazing. So I give him all his. He's a great fighter. You know what I mean? So I feel like.
Would he be the toughest guy?
To 175, I think that I would have to get a couple fights before I get a fight with him. You know what I mean? Because he's the top dog. I got to show respect with respect.
Benavidez Sr. is confident that his son would stay at 175 and defeat Beterbiev. As per Jose Sr.'s interview with the boxing scene, he stated, "He's a very dangerous fighter, but David is ready to take this challenge and make history in both weights." Jose Sr. also expressed that even though Beterbiev is a formidable fighter, he has aged and is not as much of a threat to Benavidez as one would assume. He adds, "He's a animal, but you gotta understand, he's almost 40 years old, bro." Meanwhile, Sean Zettel declared that David Benavidez can win against Artur. Sean explained that Beterbiev has a lot of power and he is a front-foot fighter, so he will be going into the power of David Benavidez head-on.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your man, Sean Zettel, and I thought I'd follow up on that post I had yesterday where I think David Benavidez can stop Artur Beterbiev, and, it got met with a lot of dismissal and people scoffing and making fun, but just to start, styles make fights, and I do think that Beterbiev is a guy, unlike Caleb Plant, unlike Demetrius Andrade and Alexander Gvozdyk, that is going to move into the power. He's a front foot fighter. He can move any direction, but he's primarily more of a front foot fighter.
Professional boxer Caleb Plant commented on the fighting style that Beterbiev possesses and complimented him for his talents. Caleb added, "I think he's an underrated boxer as well. He's got a good jab, and he doesn't telegraph his punches. He knows about positioning in the ring. He's good at almost like drawing a fighter to him, and then he'll turn him and put them on the ropes. A little more, not as bouncy as Bivol, but still light on his feet, quick hands." Coach Bredman is a huge Beterbiev fan, but even he thinks that Artur Beterbiev is going to have trouble from now on, since he couldn't knock out Bivol.
Fight, which is Beterbiev. If they didn't go that route for the rematch, which I'm pretty sure they probably will, what do you think? How does Benavidez deal with guys like that? Beterbiev to be specifically.
I'm going to tell you something, because I'm a big Beterbiev fan. I'm going to tell you something, though. In boxing, this always happens. Once a guy shows a little chink, once a guy shows that night where you're like, wait a minute. Because before, maybe he showed the chink, but he got a stoppage. This time he showed the chink. Not only did he get the stoppage, but people think that a lot of people think the other guy beat him.
While talking to Mill, Coach Bredman said that opponents will have more hope when they fight Beterbiev. As he explained, guys are going to fight him with, "I'm telling you, Mill. I'm telling you, bro. Listen to what I am telling you." They see a little bit of a weakness. They have this 4-letter word that's a big word, but it's only 4 letters. They have more hope they fight a little bit harder. Moreover, Dmitry Bivol described Artur Beterbiev's power firsthand when he went face-to-face with him in the ring. "He has very strong punches. I felt his right hand even through my left. My thumb is swollen because I was holding it on my head and he was beating on my hand. I felt like my hand came inside of my head from the power." Adding to the ongoing debate on the rematch, Dmitry Bivol has welcomed His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, calling for an Artur Beterbiev rematch next. Bivol stated, "It makes me happy. Now it depends on Beterbiev's wishes. Does he want this fight or he doesn't want this fight? Let's hope." Even Dmitry Bivol's manager, Vadim Kornilov, declared that they will be filing an official protest over the Artur Beterbiev defeat, specifically Pavel Kardini's 116-112 scorecard. "We're going to file a protest on Monday. I think the judge has to at least have some kind of responsibility for what he did. It's becoming very destructive to the sport what they're doing. These sanctioning bodies have supervisors. The supervisors are friendly with the judges. They're hugging the promoters. It's beginning to look like a scheme." One of the supervisors was tapping the top-ranked guys and congratulating them before the decision was announced. What is that about? What kind of buddy-buddy relationship do they have there? Where is the professionalism of the sport? Meanwhile, Coach John Scully shared that he isn't surprised both Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev went the distance in their fight, since no one can expect a knockout at such a high level.
Surprised are you that he went the distance?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, Dimitri's we're talking, these guys are the best of the best of the best in the whole world. So, you can never go into a fight like that and expect a knockout, ever.
Promoter Frank Warren noted that Bivol started off with a strong performance in the early rounds. He praised Bivol's technical skills and ability to maintain control, which set the pace of the fight initially. However, Warren also pointed out that Bivol seemed to lose his grip on the momentum as the fight progressed into the later rounds. According to Warren, this shift in control allowed Beterbiev to capitalize and make a comeback, which likely influenced the judge's perception and ultimately impacted the overall outcome of the match.
Well, I was a neutral in it, and I was watching the fight, and it was a close fight. It was a close fight. I thought Bivol won, but it was a close fight. But as you say, it was technical, and there were moments in it where Bivol was controlling it with his jab, and then he stopped.
Artur Beterbiev remained humble when he won over Dmitry Bivol and said that he is not a good fighter, but he has a really good team. Boxing analyst Gareth A. Davies said that there should be a rematch to decide the champion once and for all. Gareth added, "He's got to be more active later in the fight, come forward more, put more pressure on Beterbiev, and be more eye-catching. It should be an immediate rematch. It should be in 5 or 6 months' time." On the other hand, trainer Bozy Ennis believed that Bivol was winning the fight in the earlier rounds, but his statements changed as Bivol started losing the later rounds to Artur.
Steve, I know you had Bivol going. Right. A lot of people saying he got robbed.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts, man?
Well, like I said, he gave the last couple rounds away. You know what I mean? But before that, I had Bivol winning. You know what I mean? And when the cards read, and I still had him winning though, but they just gave him the last. I guess the last 2 rounds they gave Beterbiev. Beterbiev, whatever you call his name. Beterbiev.
Former boxer Chris Algieri discussed the potential rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. He notes that a rematch makes sense, especially due to the controversy surrounding the first fight's decision.
I think absolutely, especially now because there's some controversy surrounding how the fight turned out. So making that rematch makes a ton of sense. You had Turki Alashik, who went on the record already and said, well, we don't have a rematch clause, but I thought Bivol won by a couple of rounds. I think he said 2. I want to make that rematch. I'm going to reach out. And when Turki digs into his pockets to try and make a fight happen, generally that's what happens.
Meanwhile, Beterbiev has reflected on his own performance against Bivol, admitting that he could have done better and that luck played a role in his previous victories. Despite his self-criticism, he remains focused on improvement.
You know, if be honest, I always more critic of myself. And even all my last 20 fights, because of luck, I win them by KO. I'm always complain about my skills, performance, you know. That's why I don't like what I did. I mean, I want to do more.
Do you think the sanctioning bodies will budge on their decision, or will the fans miss out on the chance for an epic rematch? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.